to add this header component, the navbar, we essentially create a new folder in this part, which is over here. So I'm gonna go into the source, and you could see that there's no components. Yeah, because I created this as pages. These are also called components, but I distinguished them as pages. And now I'm just gonna create a separate folder, which is gonna be called components. And inside this components, I'm gonna create one file, which is gonna be called header.jsx. Now we're gonna have wrap. See here again. Now you can see that there's this header. Just type in header over here. You can see that if you want this header to be everywhere for all these pages, like if I go to just the home page, without any slashes, you can see that the header has to exist everywhere. How do I do this kind of mechanism? So this is pretty simple. All you got to do is go to the app.jsx, and over here you have to write within these routes. You see these routes, and above it's the browser router. Just add the what is it called? The header component. So header within it. So like that. Now, of course, it's opened up. It's a good thing. Now I could just have simply control and space, and I could no. Okay, so let's see, header. Okay, control and space. Okay, I see something like that, but that's not the. It's not recognizing it. Control and space. Okay, so bring it in here, header. Okay, there it is, and yeah, perfect. Now we're getting some issue, but don't worry. Okay, I didn't close it properly, like that. And there you go. Header is existing, but it's existing here. Does it exist in the sign in? Yes. Does it go in the sign up? Yes. Does it go to the profile? I mean, it's going everywhere, so you gotta accept it. Why am I typing profile wrong? So profile right there, and it's gonna exist in the about as well. Oh, it's existing everywhere, just home as well. So perfectly configured. Now let's just make the header look better, right? So let's go, and first of all, we're gonna go to the header component, and in here we're gonna use essentially I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna use some good tags for the header. And you could remove this div and just type in as header, and this is good for just semantic good tags. Inside it, just add a div, and the div will contain all the components inside, normally all the components. So I'm gonna add the relation to all these components later on, but right now you can see it's the header, and inside that there's a div. And now let's try to add the logo on the left, and then the search bar should be on the middle, and then there's going to be navigation menus on the right. So first let's add the logo. So inside it, just had the add one, and let's add a span tag, and let's add another span tag. So two span tags. Now there's a lot of styling, but you'll understand. So it's a class name. A lot, it's really easy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna call this as let's call this as coding cleverly. All right, and the other span tag will be called estate, because this is an estate company, right? Coding cleverly estate. Now the thing is, we're gonna have some description. So let me just have class name here, and we're gonna have the tag here. So coding cleverly and estate. The recommendation here is that you can make the text hyphen slate, and we can have 500 here. And you can see this is some CSS that I applied, Tailwind CSS, and you could apply text hyphen slate hyphen 700 for the estate. Now you can see there's a little bit of difference. So that's there. Essentially you could add some styling here in the head tag as well. So you could say class name, and you could say font is the font bold, save. So you can see this is how it looks like. Of course I have the zoomed in. I'll reset it to a normal screen width, and we're making it mobile responsive. So mobile first responsive design. This is what Tailwind gives us. So right now I'm just zooming in so that you could just see it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have coding cleverly. We have font bold. We have text small. So we're gonna have text SM. Now this is small normally on mobile devices. This is gonna appear small. So right now you can see if I reset this zoom, this is by default, and on mobile devices it's gonna appear small, but on larger devices you could just have the the prefix SM, and you could have that set to text -XL. So on larger devices, this text right now it looks small, but when I zoom in, the text is appearing a little bigger for larger scale devices. I'm using an ultra wide monitor, so my monitor is huge. Okay, so now after this we have flex and flex center, just for that they exist together. So I'm using flex and flex wrap -wrap. So now it's just good for making it in the centered, milled, and organized properly. So right now we have that done. After the head tag, we need the the form where I was talking about the search. So this form has an input field within it. So I could actually add an input field within it, like this. Okay, and you could close it like this. Now this input field will appear somewhere, but let me just add some values to it. So the input field, let me just zoom in a little just so that you could easily see things. Okay, so yeah, I think this is okay. Okay, so input field, and we have type, and we'll have that as text. We're basically adding a search field, right? So type text placeholder, we'll have search ... Now you can see, or you can see, right? This is the field. Let me just add an H over here. All right, and then we have class name. For some of the properties, like I want some good coloring here so that I could easily see it. So BG background is transparent. Okay. Parent, like that. After that we have focus outline -none. The reason why I'm saying this is that because now that focus is gone, right? And we have, I'll show you. What's happening is that this search field has a white color as well, and that's why it's you can't basically see it properly. The way I'm gonna I could fix this up is inside of this main header. So this was our div, right? So normally what I had to do was, this div doesn't close here actually. This div is all the way to the bottom, which is here, like that. Okay, and what I had to say is that this div has even before the div we have this header, and this has some class name. I'm going to show you how it looks like. So it's background slate 200. So you see this color, and after that we have a shadow and MD. So you can see that there's some border now, and you can see now it looks a little more appealing. You can see that the search is there, but I want them in a flex. So for that, just that's why I added this div, and it's pretty simple to add the thing for this. It's called class name, and you'll say flex. Now they're next to each other, but you don't want them like that, right? You want yeah, you don't want like this. You want a little separated. So you'll have justify justify between, and what happened here? I forgot this closing tag, and then it starts screaming. Okay, so now it's a little bit separated, which is good. You can see it's in the back. One is on the edge and the other. And if I add a third one, then the search will go in the middle. Other than that, we have items. We have center, like that. We have max hyphen width hyphen 6XL, like that. And we have MX auto, and we have paragraph hyphen 3. So this is a lot. Look, I made the item centered. I made a max width of 6XL. All right, so that when you zoom in, and max margin auto, which means that it's going to be everywhere consistent and padding of 3. So you can see over here. Now it's really good. It's spaced around. This is the logo, and this is the search field. All right, so let's just make the search field a little more cleaner, and you know, everything else will be good to go. So this div is done, and we have this form. Inside the form, we have the input field, and we have, you know, BG transparent, and we had focus outline. So I'm going to have the width as, you know, for normal devices, for small devices, it's going to be 24. Now you can see it's pretty small, right? But for larger devices, and you could just say, this is the best thing about Tailwind CSS. You just say SM, and then it means small, from small devices to larger, any width, you'll have the width as 64. And this, you know, you could search out in the Tailwind website where this applies from, but now you can see that the search field is big. But when I, you know, make it small, it's, you know, it's just small, really small, like this, right? So like that, and it's just gonna go on forward. That's really amazing. So now after that, we have a form input field is there, perfectly aligned. And what I want is, I want to, you know, an icon for the search as well. For that purpose, you could add some cool icon. So right after this input field, you could add an icon using FA search. Now this is called Font Awesome, and I'll show you how to actually import it. So let's go and open up our, you could just split it and open up a, you're still in the client, you could just run npm I, and you could say react hyphen icons, and this should import the icon library. So in a moment it would be installed. Yep, it's not that big. And now it's just, you know, you could just kill this, and you're back in the original one. Now what you want is, you want to import the font. So it's called import. We have FA search, and we have from, and then we have react icons hyphen icons, and then we have slash FA. Now the FA means font awesome, and you could essentially now put it right here. So FA search close, like that. Look at that. The font, the icon is existing, but we gotta have to align it, you know, make it better looking and everything. So you know, just apply some thing that we did before with other ones. Put a class name to it, and just say text hyphen slate hyphen 600. All right, so that's there. Now since this is a form, you have, you know, class name for this form as well. So let me just add a class name for the form, and we'll call it background slate 100. Now you can see there's this right, you know, white box, and then this is basically the form, the input field, and the you know, the search icon. And now we're trying to put them together, and you already know how to do that. You have the paragraph hyphen 3, not paragraph, padding hyphen 3. This means there's padding around everywhere, 3. You're gonna have rounded hyphen LG. This is gonna make the box rounded. It looks pretty nice. And at the end, we need them, you know, together, side by side. And the best way to do is flex, and to make them, you know, appear centered as well at items hyphen center. And that's looking really nice. Okay, so now that, you know, you have that class implemented as well, you know, the search bar looks really nice. We have form, and we have the form, and then inside we have this div, this is outer div, and we have this logo. And the last thing that we want to do is implement the menus, right? So right after the form, we create an unordered list, and we basically give list items. So first one is home. So I'm gonna have, you know, close like that. Wow, list item. Come on, come on, and we'll have, okay, list one, list item, bro, list item like that. Home, and then we have like that, and then we have the about, and the last one would be, you know, the pages that you're using, sign in, like that. Okay, so this is, you know, that part, but of course you need some good styling for this as well. So that's why it's recommended to go and add some class name here on the unordered list. So go in unordered list and say class name, and you know, it's obviously flex to make them side by side, and you want them, you know, spaced out a little. So you know, it's recommended to actually put a gap -4. Of course it's not looking that nice on mobile, but in the widescreen it would look good. But on, you know, mobile devices that I recommend, I just like seeing sign in instead of home, about, and sign in, all of them. So you know, you could add a hamburger icon, click on it, and then it displays all the menus. But it's better to just show for sign in for now. But if you want, you could add your customization, you know, how you like. This is just the way I'm thinking. So what I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna have flex gap for home, about, and sign in. I could add the other way, but I'm just adding this way. Now within this, you have the list items, right? But the list items have specific stylings as well. So let's go in class name, and I'm gonna have the first, which is text hyphen slate, and then we have 700 for the home, and we have hover colon underline. Okay, so you can see that the home is there, and normally this is going to be appearing for the other ones as well. By default, this is applied, but you want it hidden on mobile devices. So you could just type in hidden. If you just type this in, that home is gone. And it's going to appear for bigger devices. So you could just say for small till onwards, you could say inline. If you just say this, it's going to appear for bigger devices. And then you have text slate 700, and you have hover underline. Now hover, I didn't you know, type in properly, but you know, you got my point. Underline. So this is almost the same for the other list item as well. Just you know, have this. What happened here? So yeah, I forgot one thing here, and that's essentially the class name, and then put this and close it like this. So now you have the same thing goes for the about, and for the last one, which is sign in, you have a class name. You don't want that to be hidden, but you know, right now it could be hidden. Remove the hidden, and you can see that the sign in is appearing. So you know, just have this removed as well, and just have text slate 700. Okay, so now if you hover over it, you can see this underline effect as well. If you go into the bigger screen, you'll have, you know, these underline when you hover over it. Looks pretty nice, but they're not clickable, right? You can't navigate to anywhere. That's where we're gonna have to fix that up. But other than that, you know, it looks pretty nice, pretty neat, and all that. Let's now add in, you know, the effect where we could once we click on something, it goes us to the sign-in page, or it goes to a different page. So for that particular purpose, we're gonna have to import another dependency. Go here, and let's just add it here, split screen, and I'm gonna have npm I, and this is gonna be called so essentially, I guess we don't need to install it. It's available. So it's called, oh yeah, perfect. It's in React Router DOM. We already have it. So we already had it installed. So we just call it link from, and we have React Router DOM. Okay, perfect. So this link is so cool. It's that it lets us go from one page to another without us having to refresh the page. All right. So, you know, wherever you saw those styling, you could just apply it. So let's just have the format document applied. This is a prettier extension. Okay. So now over here we have the div, and this is closing there. Just add the, the things that you need. So to, really get that going, just add the following. So go to the head. You see this head? You see that this is the home. I want to take that to the home page. So you just add the link, and it has the to tag, and just have this. All right. And this closes here. Okay. I have to just close it like that. Come on, man. Yeah, this one. Like that. So now if I go to any other page, let's suppose sign in, about. Now, all these pages have the same navbar, but I click on this, I'm going back to the home page, which is right here, which is cool. But now let's add the other links, like suppose the link for the sign in, right? So go to the unordered list, and you can see over here we have the sign in. But before that, let's add the link for the home. So over here, again, same stuff. Just add the link to, and say slash, what is it called? Home. So just that, and cut this out, and it should be like that. Same thing goes here for the about. So link to slash about, and then we have that, and then we have cut, and we have it pasted here. And the same thing, we have a link to, and we have slash sign in, slash sign hyphen in, and then we have cut, and then we have all right. So now let's just format document again. Okay, it has some cool slide styling, but let's go sign in. You can see that it's signing in. Let's go to the bigger screens, and let's go to about, sign in, home, and about again, and then back to home. Perfect. This was our progress so far. Let's just track it in our GitHub repo. It's so easy to do it. Actually, one way to do it is from the CMD, but the other way is you could just essentially have the GitHub repo added. You can see source git. So open repository. It's not even basically opened up. And now you can see I actually opened it up, and you can see some of the changes that are being tracked. You could add all this. You can say plus, and now all you got to do is down here, and you can see commit and push. But before that, add a message and say added the header component, right? And updated the routes. Now if I do this, and if I just go here and say commit and push, this is going to push all of this on my GitHub repo in a moment. Would you like to use run git fetch? This is just options, but it should, yeah, it should do it. So I believe it's done. And if I go back to my repo page, which is over here, and if I refresh this, I should have 2 commits. Perfect. And if we go to the commit history, you can see that this commit was done, added the header component and the updated routes, and you can see all my changes that were applied. Perfection. All right, so the next part for this web application is that we're going to try to install the backend, and then after that we're going to try to create some APIs so that we could be able to sign in and sign out, basically create accounts.